Good evening. Let's just turn that off. And let's just turn that down. Nice. I'm actually going to start on time for once. Who would have thought? But we're good. Alright, last time I was working on loading, I think. Yeah, data loading. Finished off that chapter. We're going to move on to data mutations. I doubt I'm going to make it through all 5 exercises, but depends how large they are. I'm going to start by watching the introductory video. I've already got the VS Code set up and ready to go, although it's doing a weird thing with the resolution. There we go. Completely lost my train of thought there. Yeah, so I'm watching the intro video and then I'm going to crack on with the exercises. If anyone's watching along, you're free to view the content, but the videos and the audio on the videos will be hidden. If you want to view that content, you're going to have to buy the EpicWeb.Dev license. So for now, I'm going to watch this introductory video and I'm going to crack on. Alright, cool. Let's deal with some form mutations. Where are we at? It's the transcript. Arc is complete, and we'll start learning. Alright, what we got? Hopefully I can stay awake for this. We need to add support for editing notes. You'll be required to make a form for the notes edit page. In this first step, we're only expecting you to make the form itself. Don't worry about making it work yet. Cool. The emoji will be your guide through the exercise. So we've got form. Nice. So this is a remix form. I'm just going to go back to this. Put it in a new tab. That's the solution. Files. I think we can open this. Nice. There we go. Is that too small on screen? Let's see. It looks okay. Maybe I'll go up one more. There we go. This seems fine. Alright, so it looks like the emojis are going to guide us through. In this first step, we're only expecting you to make the form itself. Remove this so we can return our form instead. Pre-JSON stringified data null. This is on the loader. Should that navigate me somewhere? Get users, coded notes. Yeah, why is that not? Is that not taking me there? See if this works. There we go. That was weird. Maybe I'll restart. Restart the app. There we go. Remove this so we can return our form instead. So we want to render a remix form with a method of post. We want to render a label, the text title, and then input with the name title and a default value of data note title. Right, let's get the remix form up. Is that going to copy the whole thing? Yeah. I don't want that. I want this. Imported multiple times. Ooh. Nice. So I've already got used loader data. I can add it in here instead. Function new event, return a form component. The action is going to be /events and the method is going to be post. Render a remix form with a method of post, form component, method. Post. And I'm guessing these are going to be inside the form. Render a remix form with a method of post. Right, that's done. Render a label with the text title. What have we got here? Then actual label, text title, and then input, the name title. Default value of data note title. Default value data note title. So we've done that. It was uppercase. Same again. We're going to do a label element. Give it content. An input. Oh no, we're going to do a text area. Name of content and a default value. Name. Content. Ooh. Yeah, name is lowercase. The label is uppercase. Give it a default value. Data note content. Close out the text area. And then finally, we're going to do a button type. I think it actually defaults to type submit, so I think we can just say whoop, like that. Alright. JS expressions need one parent element. Okay, as extra credit, you can add a reset button. So I think we can do button type reset. Extra credit, you can use the label, input, text area, and button components from app components UI. Did I see that there? No, I didn't. Let's see if I can pick it up. Yeah, there we go. Give me all those tasty tailwind styles. Looks like there's an input to it. Text area. And the button. Cool. So now, if you really have extra time, you can wrap the submit and reset buttons in a div with a floating toolbar class name. From app components, floating toolbar. All right. Div class name. See if we can find this. Nice. Cool. All right. So I've imported it. I don't know about making it look nice, but we can just do that. Just return the form instead. Cool. I think components. I hate this. There we go. Utils should occur after. Wait, what? App components input should occur before. Really? Button before input. Is it in alphabetical order? What should this be in before button? Alright. Cool, so now we can go back to our application and what we're looking for, note edit. So there's a delete and an edit. We're in the problem here. Go refresh. So, edit, title, content, submit, reset, and we'll just make sure this is our form. It is. Cool, so we've got a nice basic edit form here. And we can just remove this. There we go. Is that it? Is that part one? The first step, we're only expecting you to make the form itself. Don't worry about making it work. So that looks like it's created. Got 2 input fields wrapped in a label. Our names are set, our default values are set. We have a submit button and a reset button. Looks good to me. Cool. It's the solution video. All right, I'm gonna watch this. It's only gonna be a couple of minutes. And before I do it, in fact, while I do that, it is far too bright. Makes sense. Work is complete. Let's move on. All right, let's check out actions. So we've built the form, but at the moment, if we try and submit this, it'll do a 405. Because it's trying to do a post on the current URL, which is not allowed. So let's find out how to do some actions. Set to playground. Oh, did I lose my form if I do that? Sad. All right, let's watch this. Sorry, doing live lighting while I'm watching that video. Alright, we're going to do a live post on this. Just like our loader responds to GET requests for data, the action is going to respond to non-GET requests for data. The action accepts the same parameters as the loader and is expected to return a response. It's also typically expected to return a redirect or a JSON response and can use the same utilities. So now we want you to get the form data from the request and use it to update the note and then redirect back to the notes page. Don't worry about validation or error handling, we'll cover that later. Okay, so there's a remix action. Let's just open that in a new tab. Let's get the files we need. Yeah, close that. Okay, we want you to get the form data from the request. Let's go to the notes and use it to update the note and then redirect back to the notes page. Okay, so we have a loader function here. It's going to find the first note where the ID equals the query params note ID. So it's going to find the first note. We have that invariant response from last week, which will throw a 404 if it's not found. We can skip over that because we know that's going to be here. We're going to return a JSON utility with a note on the response. Does that actually return a response? That's typed response. The title and content. We're going to use loader data, which is going to give us the JSON value here. Action responds to non-GET requests for data. Export an action function here. You'll need the request and params from the data function args. Get the form data and the request. Let's jump to this. Export an action function here. All right. Export async function. Is that just going to be action? Nice. Can use the data function args, and I'll need the request and params. So we've done that. Get the form data from the request. Oh, sad. The form data method of the request interface reads the request body and returns it as a promise. Form data. Return value is a promise that resolves with a form data object. Get the form data from the request. Request is a request. Form data equals request. Get the form data from the request. Request JSON. Let's see. Get the form data from the request. Is anything actually calling this? Let's go back to our application. To have this open. Okay, it doesn't look like anything's actually calling this. Assuming debugger will work in here. Seeing, oh, yeah, okay, not seeing anything here. Get the form data, get the title and the content from the form data. Do I need to wait? What? Let's destructure that. Give me the title, content, form data. Okay, so this isn't typed, so it doesn't know what's coming back from this. That's not a good start. And then update the note. Here's how you do it. Update where ID equals the note ID. Data is title and content. All right, so I'm going to access the database. Note. Nope. Update. Let's pass it. The ID equals no ID. Let's just grab this error. Guessing that's because it's going to be undefined. Or title and content can be undefined. Okay, and then redirect the user back to the notes page. Okay, let's look for pardon me. Remix run node. Looks like it has a redirect function. Is this asynchronous? Model API. Model API. I'm guessing this is async, right? Let's see what happens here. No, this is not an accessible label. We'll get to that in the accessibility exercises. Cool. Method is post. Do I need to specify method is post? So there's an action called /events. So if I add an action here, let's just call it /events for the moment. I want to see if anything happens. Back to our app. If I edit the note, nothing is working. I'm just going to make sure that's not a broken app. Yeah, it's weird it does that sometimes. I don't know why. Okay, basic classic. Submit that. It's a 404 because it's trying to go to events. If I don't specify an action, I wonder if it will default to the action function. That's fine. It will default to the action function at the current URL. You're just not enjoying that. Fair enough. Edit this. This. Submit. Unexpected token in the bagging area. Okay, so my request.json is garbage. Request is a request. Do I just need request? Extends body. There we go. Read only body. Can I just access request or body? You defined an action for this, but you didn't return anything from your action function. Please return a value or null. Get the form data from the request. Get the title and the content from the form data. See, that's a readable stream. Read-only body property in the request contains a readable stream of the body content. Let's note that using readable stream is a transferable object. That's returning. I think I should just be able to do response.body, right? If I got an application error there, let's clear that. Edit this. Submit it. See my log. Redirect the user back to it. I mean, do I return the redirect? So I did the snowboarding adventure, submit it. 404s. Okay, so there we go. So at least my action is now working. So let's take a look. Just make sure we put the right title, content. Let's see if this works. Let's refresh. All right, basic wall of facts. Let's submit that. It has a 404. There's my error response. No routes matching the location of nodes. Okay, so this is erroring because it doesn't know where to go to. There's got to be an easier way to get back. Right. Users coding notes. But if I'm doing a redirect, where's the URL here? Can I just do this instead? Edit the snowboarding adventure. Submitting that. Title and content is undefined. Default value. Here's how you can do it. Thought that would have worked. Oh. I lost the snowboarding. Oh. It's probably because it's undefined. It's not appearing here. If I submit that, it's updating the note, and because these are both undefined, yeah, I'm losing the notes. That's annoying. Let's see. I stop and then restart the app. Do I get the default values again? Snowboarding, nice. Okay. Request is a request object. We've got request params and context. That request extends body, so I should have access to the body, which is a readable stream. Nothing coming back from. There's my form data, which is returning a readable stream. Form data method of the request interface. Do I need to call form data as a new form data? To call it? Form data from the request. Let's say to party. What do we have there? Nice. So now we've got a promise. So now we need to just await that promise. Should get some form data back from this. Excellent. Let's get rid of this because it's not doing anything. And now coding mentorship. Pretty swinging mentorship. Really? Form data is going to give me a form data object. It will stream form data object. Key value pairs representing form fields, which can be sent using fetch. You can also pass it directly to URL search params if you want to generate query params in the way a form does. Returns the first value associated. Appends a new value. Refresh this, not bears. Not potatoes. Potatoes. Title is not defined. Ah, okay. Title. Content. Let's just set this. Data is an object. What? Man, I just want the data. Form data. Get returns an array of all the values associated with a given key. I don't want that. I want. Suppose I could just do title. Get title, I guess. Oh, it should match the name, right? So if the name is title and the name is content. Form data. Get content. Let's see what we get here. We can remove these now because at least they'll be undefined. Let's go back. Made this a onboarding adventure. Submit that. We go back. This is now updated to a onboarding adventure. Cool. Oh, we got there. So we can now do all of this, but we want to redirect. What if I just go back one page here? What does that do? Board adventure. Nice. Went back to notes. Yeah, so we just needed to jump back up one. That's weird because we're in here. And then we're in here. Must be to do with the way the nested roots are structured. But at least that's the way to do it. Which is good times. Alright, so we've got form data by awaiting the request, which is a request object, and we're going to get the form data function and execute it. That's going to return a form data. We then use the get method on the form data to get the fields that we want, and then we're going to update the database note with our new parameters. When that's finished, we're going to redirect back to the notes, which will refresh the root, and it will show the changes. Nice, good times. That was fun. What time are we at? 20 past. Alright, let's watch the solution and then I might take a break. Nice, good times. This part of that is complete. Glad I got that done. We'll set this to the playground. We are on form data types. Nice, so there's 3 left. Maybe I will actually get through all this. We'll see. We're on the problem. I'm actually just going to take a 5-minute break here, go to the bathroom and stuff. What time is it? Yeah, 23 past. All right, I'll be back at like 28, 29 minutes past. It's weird. What's up with my BRB screen? There we go. All right, let's crack on. Oh man, I'm tired. But we will persevere. An important thing to know. Okay, so we've got an action up and running. We're updating the note and we're redirecting back to the actual note. In my previous example, I actually went back to the notes, but we're actually going to hard code the path and go back to the specific note rather than notes. So it looks like we're going to handle form errors and user mistakes in this one. So I'm just going to quickly watch this video. All right, let's do some form errors. Make TypeScript happy. Where am I at? I've got the exercise loaded up. What we're going to do, an important thing to know about the form data is the values stored in it, kind of three different types. Null, string, file. Interesting. It's impossible for us to prevent users from submitting invalid data. Users can change the types in our form using the browser dev tools or even submit the form using a tool like Postman. But we know that if the data is invalid, we don't want to proceed with the submission. Frankly, we really can't offer any resource for the user recourse. So we can simply throw an error which we can handle as gracefully as possible. We can test this out by changing the form to have a typo, changing the name of the title to title 2, submit the request, and make sure the response is what you expect. So if we go to a note, we edit this, we're going to change the form to have a typo. So we'll swap title to title 2. We're going to edit the title and submit. Hey, did that work? It did. Let's stop the app. Let's just restart it. Okay, not bears. Let's edit not bears. There we go. In variant violation, fail to update title on note. Can't set a non-nullable property to null. So this is coming back as null because title no longer exists on the form. Add a check to make certain that the title and content are both a string. If they are not, throw an error. If I never remember which way around to do this. Type of title does not equal string. Or type of content does not equal string. Throw an error. Invalid inputs. There's extra credit through a more descriptive 400 response instead of an error. We could do the invariant response. We can add that as our condition. Oh, wait. Yeah. The condition, then the message is going to be like invalid data. And then is that an options object? Is that what you... Condition message, and then a function that returns a string. Oh, the message can be a string or a function. The response init, I think, is an object. And I think I can pass a status 400. I can't remember what the default is. I think I can get rid of that. So we'll do an invariant response. If this condition is met, invalid data with 400 status. Ah, nice. Try using the invariant response. Cool. So let's see what happens here. It doesn't look like it worked. Let's try this. I think my condition might be wrong here. Yeah. Invariant response. If the condition is falsy. Okay, so once is data valid. Let's just flip this round. If is data valid is falsy, then give me invalid data of status of 400. Hey, there we go, 400. Interestingly, the message didn't send. Let's see what happens here. Let's go to the network. Invalid data on the response. Nice. All right, cool. Add a check to make sure if they're not throwing error. Okay, so I think we're done here. And that means we no longer need this because if we get past this, these will both be defined. They'll both be strings. It knows for the data to be valid, both of these need to be a string, so we can infer that these will both be strings. Nice. That was easy enough. And then let's just revert this back. We can submit. Good times. All right, that one was pretty straightforward. Let's go. Alright, good times. Set this to playground, and then I'm just going to restart this because I always seem to have problems. Alright, button forms. Alright, so we're going to delete functionality to each of the nodes. Folks who are used to building client-side focused apps may be familiar with a button triggering a fetch. One-click fetch this. Post. The user clicks twice. What if it clicks the button? The request fails. Edge cases are numerous. There's gotta be a better way. Make the button a form. Let the browser or your browser emulator remix handle the edge cases for you. It's a nice and declarative API. We want to make the delete button functional, so you're going to need to wrap the button in a form and add an action. So pop this. Let's go to the notes. This doesn't do anything at the moment. Okay, so we're wrapping just this button in a form. So we'll use a remix form. The method will be a post, I think. And then to do that. I hate doing that. Alright, so we've got a form because we're using this button instead of a native button. We're going to need to do type submit. Okay, so nothing. Let's refresh. Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted to see there. Delete. Method not allowed. And I'm guessing. That's because I've not defined an action, which will be here. So let's export async function called action. Uses the params from the data function. So we're going to params. It's going to come from data function args. Let's grab this. So that's going to delete the note. db note delete where the ID equals the params.note ID. And then we're going to need to return redirect. I'm actually just going to use the relative one for just now. So now let's refresh, and I hit delete on basic qualifacts. They're gone, and it takes me back to select a note. I can actually do this users slash. Because I need to do the user ID, right? Yeah, I'm just going to use relative. I'm too tired to figure out the absolute path. Cool, so that works. Quals like to cuddle? No, they do not. not bears, can get those two. If I refresh, then we're back. Nice, good times. Wow, absolutely crushing these. Did that. The button in a form with the proper method. So we're going to do a post. Because we've not declared an action, we're going to use the default action here. I wonder if you need a case here where, what happens if it can't find this? Oh, well, I suppose the no ID would need to exist. Yeah, that's nonsense. All right, cool. Onwards. Nice. All right, bag it, tag it. Let's move on. All right, intent, data mutations intent. Oh, final one. Oh, I've got loads of time. All right, I'm just going to restart the app. Nice. I may actually get to finish early tonight, which I'll be stoked about. Let's just close this. Make sure we have the latest version of the file. And now we're going to look at intent. I completely phased out during that video, so I've got no idea what we're going to do. Excellent. I could rewatch it again, but let's just go through the instructions. See if we can wing it. Our action for the delete button is pretty simple. In the future, we'll probably add a favorite button where users can mark a note as a favorite, but our action at the moment only handles deleting. To help us distinguish between the user's preferred action, we'll use a common pattern of adding a name and a value to the delete button. Yes, it's true. Submit buttons are form controls just like inputs and can therefore have names and values. From there, you can get the intent from the request form data and handle it accordingly. Doing things this way will also ensure the request is performed properly. Okay, so this submit button is going to have a name of intent and a value of delete, which means when we post, we're going to come up into this action, get the form data from the request. So we're going to need to grab the request from the data function args. Form data. Got distracted. Team getting tired. We can call the form data function that returns a promise. So we'll await the result of that. That gives us our form data. Get the intent from the form data. Okay, so constant 10. I can never spell constant. Constant 10. It's going to be form data. Get intent. If the intent is delete, then proceed. Otherwise, throw a 400. So throw an invariant response. If intent is not delete. Don't think we need a message, and it'll default to a 400 response. So if the intent is not delete, let's go to a note. Let's restart. Let's go to a note, basic qualifiers, we'll hit delete, and it's going to do a 400 because the intent is not delete. This is going to get intent, which is going to look through the names of the form, find that, and return the value of it. If it exists, we'll delete it, and then we're going to redirect back to notes. So hopefully, this works. Oop. Yep. Alright, that makes a lot of sense. I was wondering if you could have multiple actions rather than jamming it into the one action. I think we're going to find out how to do that at a later date. Oh, nice. Smash that too. Alright, going to watch the solution. Nice. Good times. Ooh, dead joke. Terrible. Terrible. All right. It's weird. Data mutations, elaborate what you learned. What did I learn? How to submit forms and remix using actions. Mutations and remix using actions. Yeah, that was actually, I had a blast there. They were all great. Submit that. Work is complete. Hey, confetti. Nice. Well, absolutely smashed through the last couple of exercises. I didn't think I was going to get through that when I was around here. But here we are. It is currently, I'm like half an hour shy. I am absolutely exhausted. So I've plowed through all of the data mutations, which leaves scripting available for next Wednesday. I don't really want to start this and how many? Yeah, we've still got another 5 exercises. This is a good point to leave it. I'm happy with what I learned, so I'm going to leave it here for this evening. Thank you for following along with me, and I will see you next week.